Hello everyone, I'm Keenan47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to the Wolf Podcast, where we'll be talking about the 15th episode of Persona 5 the animation. I am Alibaba. With me today is...
Hello everyone, I am Demon Kami, says DM.3000.
Hey everyone, this is FlOrangey.
Hey everyone, this is Mario Fanboy 15th, aka that guy who, after watching Dragon Ball Super and Persona 5 the animation back to back with like inconsistent animation and writing, I started watching One Punch Man, which actually feels good to watch because, oh my gosh, this is actually a consistent anime.
That was the most built up line to a punchline, basically.
Yeah, a punchline.
One punch line. Gotcha.
Oh
Oh my god!
Yeah! Best one yet.
Oh,
Yeah, you got +1 on the pun meter, Dean.
Anyways, quick warning to everyone watching: if it sounds like that any of us are cutting out, my internet has not been doing the greatest as of late, and there's not much I could do to fix it, unfortunately. So try to bear with it. But beyond that, let me first off by saying any kind of comparisons that we make to the game or the animation are purely done for analytical reasons. And to give a synopsis of the episode, now we go further into the idea of this group called Medjed, who decides to make an enemy of the Phantom Thieves. To the point that at one point in the episode, they literally shut down the entirety of the Shibuya district, literally saying, if the Phantom Thieves don't turn themselves in, we will do far worse. And this also leads to another hacker character by the name of Alibaba, literally saying, I can be the one to help you take down Medjed if you help me change the heart of Futaba Sakura. And boy, does this episode spiral from there, quite honestly.
Well, first off, Zach, you have finished watching the episode, right?
I'm 17 minutes in, so yes, I'm pretty much done.
Wait, seriously?
Zach, you started watching it at 11:10. It's almost 12. How do you spend 40 fucking minutes on a 22-minute episode?
Blame my throat so
And
much.
I started saying that just as a joke. Oh my god. Oh. You never cease to blow my expectations.
Well, when I say I'm slow at things, I'm really slow at things.
Yeah, a 22-minute episode turns into a fucking hour-long episode, apparently.
Yeah, you're pretty much on the nose there.
He was absorbing the episode a lot.
Oh.
Really taking in the atmosphere that came from the many different facial expressions retrieved from this episode, as well as like the many different text messages that came up from it.
Oh
God, those text messages.
They were fast, but then again, I'm a fast reader, so I didn't really get too badly affected by those.
I have trouble following subtitles, period.
Nelson, I envy you.
Though I will say that scene later in this episode was a very clever short to get around the animation budget. A huge improvement over a fucking clip show.
Sounds like someone's so salty.
Well, yes.
Salty as a fish.
The episode sucked.
Not this one. This one was cool.
No.
This was good.
Oh yeah. This episode was good. The last one though, yeah, that sucked.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, while we're on the topic, Dean, give your thoughts on the episode.
Well, I really enjoyed this one. I think that they got the main idea of introducing like the next arc rather well, and they even included some new elements that I quite enjoyed. Like they actually included more emphasis on the whole hacking thing, because in the game it was, most of this would just result into comparisons, but they did show more impressive stuff when it comes to the hacking. Like, I love the scene where Alibaba triggers everyone's phone to ring except for Ren's. That was a really nice touch.
And then literally messages him while he's at the clinic. Like, Ren's look of shock was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, it was like a perfect, like, oh shit kind of moment.
Oh, and if we're talking about looks of shock, the ending, that...
Oh, I wish I had a screenshot of that face, but Holy God, Makoto looks so... Like, again, this is the greatest reason why when you're doing an anime adaptation of something, you could go so much further with, like, facial reaction and otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we've got plenty in this episode in terms of like facial expressions, like from Morgana to An and Makoto's look at disgust towards Ryuji, and the ending. My God, is it horrible for me to say that I love rewatching the last couple of seconds of the episode?
I just felt so... Like, you feel so bad for both Makoto and basically Futaba, because we know that's who that is.
Yes, we can say her name without censoring it. Yay! Yay!
No more Ren going.
That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, which is basically which is basically insinuating my feelings on me having to censor all that.
Yep.
Oh, but yeah, it's like, oh, I felt so bad for Makoto and Futaba, but then when the episode just ends there, it's like, I'm like, first time I saw it, I was like, wait, what? It just ended.
Wait, what? It just ends? What? Okay, perfect ending there. There wasn't even like any like follow-up scene that leads up to the next episode. Nah, it just ends with them screaming.
Though
perfect.
I know
A+.
I know we're still on your thoughts, Dean, but I just want to say this real quick because I really want to ask this of y'all. Is it me or did this episode feel like it lasted way longer than it actually did?
It lasted longer?
Like, it feels like it. Like, when I was watching the episode, I was expecting it to end at different points, but no, it kept going. I know the episode's 22 minutes long, but it felt like it lasted longer than it actually did, and I kind of like that. Like, it's because they had so much information going on, and it was done in such a nice, cohesive way. It just made me feel like I was watching more than a 22-minute episode.
Okay, the way you worded that the first time, it had me like concerned, because when things feel like they've gone on longer, that's usually because they're boring.
No, I mean this in a good way. I mean in a way that it engrosses you that you don't even realize that it was only 22 minutes. Like, it felt like, wow, that was only 22 minutes. It felt longer.
Oh, so it's like it felt like what's the word?
Not that it went by too fast, but almost made you believe that it was longer than it actually is.
Well, I think it's more like they packed in so much stuff that went on in the episode that it felt long, but they managed to create it in a way that it's not boring.
Exactly.
Which I can see because, like, throughout the whole beginning arc, they managed to condense, like, a week's worth of information and stalling into basically a 22-minute episode in a way that's actually efficient, and it does it well. So... And in a way, a lot of parts that actually did feel comedic because they went over quite a bit in this episode. Like, they had the fireworks festival, they had finals, and then the introduction of Alibaba and Nejed. So, and yeah, they managed to condense it quite well. I rather enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now I'm done with the episode.
Oh.
God damn it, Zach.
Thanks for rambling, Dean.
Fuck you. Come on, watch the episode at least before we do this.
Freaking pleb.
Zach?
What?
Why?
Anyways, Dean, is there anything else you want to add?
No, because apparently I ramble.
Alright, then.
Alright, I'm good.
Cole, your thoughts?
I guess I'll open my thoughts with a little fun fact. Apparently, when you're wearing a kimono, you go commando, and that's why the boys got really uncomfortable when Anna almost flashed everyone.
Dude, fucking Yusuke, like, just covering his face with the fan.
I thought the tradition was that you don't wear a bra.
No, if I recall correctly, and I actually got this from Persona 3, apparently the girls don't wear anything under their kimonos.
Oh yeah, the female protagonist actually kind of hints that at Junpei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets a nosebleed.
I can't believe this is a serious discussion.
Yeah.
No, but it's a real...
I was just trying to remember traditions.
I know.
Oh god, you wanna know what I just realized?
What?
You realize that also applies to Yusuke, because he was wearing one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're right about that. Interesting.
Yusuke would be the type to accidentally flash to everyone.
Oh fucking hell, Zachary! I knew someone was gonna go too far with what I said. I knew it.
Basically, it wasn't Cole or me.
I was expecting it. Like, and it ended up being Zachary. God fucking damn it.
Well, Nelson, you said Ren accidentally flashed someone.
Ren.
Not Ren.
Okay.
Ren wasn't
said-
wearing a kimono.
I know, but Nelson said Red.
No, I said Yusuke.
You said Red.
I said Yusuke.
You said Red.
I have no idea who's right in this, Dean. Do you know?
Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure. Like one of you is gonna rewatch it and see exactly who said what.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How do we go from here?
well, I'd say we're off to a very good start right now.
Anyways, Cole, you were still saying stuff.
Okay, crap. I forgot what I was going to say after. Well, okay, so for this episode, okay. God damn it.
You were distracted by Yusuke.
You know, I think I suddenly understand if Yusuke really wasn't wearing anything underneath his kimono, why he had his fan in front of his face. Well, but yeah, I'm kind of, I'm terrible with getting my thoughts together. I don't know why, but I will say I definitely like this episode. Yeah, actually, when I was watching this, I was like, you know, I like this. Was this the same writer who did episode 13? Because I feel like we're back on track now, but I can't read Japanese. But after what happened with episode 14, I was a little bit nervous. I'm really glad that this episode actually ended up being as good as it was. How it got through a lot of the stuff with Alibaba very quickly. How it set up the fine points, but it didn't feel like it was slogging at anywhere. And how even in between all that stuff, we still got a lot of really good details, like all the emote stickers that like Yusuke, Makoto, and Makoto had. Morgana's...
Makoto and Makoto?
Huh?
Yusuke, Makoto, Makoto.
Yeah, you said.
Sorry, I thought there was another person who had emote stickers, but I think it was just those two. Why was Yusuke's a cowboy?
Maybe he really likes westerns.
Probably.
They're very artistic to him.
But yeah, it's like, I think for me, it's not just like the stuff with Medjed, but also all the little details in like the animation. I do admit I did kind of miss Yusuke's little entire history lesson about Medjed, because it means that we don't get the good job Yusuke line.
Good job, Yusuke.
But that's like a minor nitpick and like a sea of like good stuff. But there's just so many little details. Like someone in my Discord server actually pointed out that as the scene when they're talking to Medjed goes on, the cat cake, its facial expression changes throughout the scene.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, like it's got that little frowny face, then the concerned eyebrows, and then it just looks as depressed as everyone else when they lose contact with Alibaba.
Oh.
I wasn't even really paying attention to that.
Wow, that's a really small
I wasn't too, but I noticed it at a glance, and I was like, wait, what? It's like, for all of the problems that this gay anime has with its animation at times, it sometimes just has some really nice moments.
Alright, so I'm super. Anyway.
God.
You stop.
No.
Sorry, I feel like I'm taking over this entire conversation.
Oh, no, don't worry. You're good.
Nah.
But
No.
there was one thing that I admit that kind of bothered me, and it could just be that I'm overthinking it. And it moves back to the Sojiro problem that we've talked about on and off during the podcast. Do you know the question when they talk about could Sojiro potentially be abusive? Team Sojiro, the obvious answer is no. But does anime Sojiro give the same vibe, or do we just not know enough information at this point?
I feel like if you ask me, sorry, I'm a little away from my mic, but if you were to ask me, it's definitely the latter. Like, we don't have enough information, and I think that also applies to Ren. It's like, while Ren knows Sojiro at least on a certain level, he's not really as personal with him as you could be. Like, again, this is bringing up the game, as you could be in the game. Like, because I believe at this point, Sojiro at least, like, respects you to some degree.
And you could potentially be at rank 4 in his confidant.
Yeah, at least, because I think it gets walled off at this point.
Yeah, because it's like, it wasn't really something that I noticed the first time I watched it, but when I was watching it the second time and they get to that question of, hey, Ren, do you think that Sojiro could be, quote unquote, that type of person? Well, it's like almost every time we've seen Sojiro in the anime, he's either been very indifferent or threatening to throw Ren out.
Or dismissive.
So while we would have, for game Sojiro, my thought would be an immediate no, because at that point we know him well enough to question that. Anime Sojiro doesn't really give me a reason to think no. Which I think is actually kind of bothers me with how they were telling the story.
You bring up a really good point, because I think I had that exact same thought when that scene happened, because after everyone was basically asking is like, oh, do you think that Sojiro is an abusive father? It's just, when I look back at this anime in particular, you don't really get that feeling. Like, they all manage to agree that they can't see Boss doing it. It's like, what bit of evidence do we have to look back on that he wasn't giving that nature? Because at this point in the game, I think all of the Phantom Thieves did have some decent degree of exposure to Sojiro and his kinder nature despite his appearance. But in the anime, there wasn't really much that comes to it. And we miss key scenes like Makoto first coming into LeBlanc and studying with the group, and what was it? That the hot pot. That scene as well.
Yeah, like we got the hot pot itself, but in the actual game, Sojiro you do have the option to talk to Sojiro before you grab the bowl, and he seems pretty open at that point.
Yeah, and he literally says that An was the one who asked him if Yusuke can hang about, and literally he even says like she probably felt like you couldn't ask me because you're already freeloading.
Man, we didn't even get that in the anime. It's just like, no, Ren just...
No, he literally just says, I've already got one freeloader, what's another? It's like, that's so dismissive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives like a different impression altogether, but the main thing that I was referring to with the hot pot is that he actually does interact with the fan teams a bit more particularly on, but you could see more of his like friendly nature to him.
Yeah, literally one of the lines, sorry to cut you off, literally one of the lines is, like, An talks about how, like, the main character has been very helpful, and then Sojiro's like, I more think it's the other way around. Like, because, he's still very leery towards, like, Ren/Akira, but then when An accentuates saying, nah, he's actually been a really cool person, Sojiro actually finds that very surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
Oh, go ahead.
Because, again, Sojiro saw the main character as, a troublemaker. But when he hears that, a group of people are saying, yeah, he's been a pretty cool guy and he's been very helpful, that just makes him be like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically everything that you've just said, Nelson. It's like, everything with Alibaba and Futaba seems to have been adapted very well. It's like all of the extra fluff regarding Sojiro, because that's missing. It feels almost like it's just there for the sake of being there.
I do at least like the little conversation that goes on between Ren and Sojiro, because in the game it's just Ren just asks out of nowhere about Futaba, but whereas in the animation, I know we're going into comparisons and otherwise, he hears it. Literally the character, Sai literally says it out of nowhere, in a casual conversation to Sojiro, and then, Ren literally asks, Ren asks a very honest question, like, who was she talking about?
Yeah. It's just like she mentioned Futaba.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Sojiro got pissed. But it's like you can't blame Ren for asking because he does have some degree of concern for Sojiro. If it wasn't for the fact that he's personally trying to look into Futaba, I'm pretty sure he would have asked casually anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, if I recall correctly in the game, you can literally just say, who's Futaba, and Sojiro will actually freak out a little bit because at no point is her name ever mentioned.
Yeah, so it's like he kind of wonders how the hell you heard it, and he assumes that it was from Sai.
Hello, welcome to the comparison section.
I know. We've kind of gone far off topic, so...
Okay, yeah, that's right. I've pretty much said my piece at this point.
We'll get back into this in the comparison. So, Zachary, go ahead and say what you want to say.
Well, the first thing I want to mention, this is a great thing. Those wonderful three great faces that Morgana makes throughout the episode.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again, Zach? You kind of cut off for me.
Those three faces that Morgana makes throughout the episode.
Oh my god! Yeah, you've shown me a couple of them. They are so. Again, I've said this before to people. Someone needs to go through the entirety of this animation when it's over and just make a compilation of all the dumb faces that come from it.
Like there's the face that Morgana makes at the fireworks festival. We're just like, oh, we should go inside, and things like that. And then there's the other face when they're at the school. And he's just making this smug looking face at Ryuji. And then we have the third face when he's behind the cat statue.
That one is beautiful. Especially when you're like, wait, Sakura? Futaba Sakura? And Morgana's like, you mean you idiots just figured this out?
Yeah, I love that. I love how was it On and Ryuji that
Yes.
Yeah, they couldn't figure it out. I just love how Morgana literally snapped off on both of them. Like, yeah, how the fuck did you not draw that comparison?
Didn't Yusuke catch on faster?
Yeah.
I should really say something because of the Yusuke we're talking about.
Well, it's funny, really, because Yusuke is the quirky one, but one thing I noticed even in the game is that he's actually pretty smart when he puts his head to it.
He's perceptive. That's the thing about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the whole artistic sense that comes into him because you do know that he definitely notices the finer details. So that's something that is still within his character. He's just extremely quirky.
Yeah, exactly. He's eccentric, basically, and he even admits that.
Mm-hmm.
What was I say? Oh yeah, I know I talked about this. I know I talked about this last week, but I'll just say this for like one more time. But when it came to this week, I legit sighed. Like, I was like, when I saw the new intro again because like, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait for Break the Breakout. I saw the intro, I was like,
yeah, it looks like they're going to be keeping the new intro from here on out, and there's not much we can do about it besides deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. But one thing I do like since you guys were bringing up the chat logs earlier. I like the little thing they did where it's just like the characters were on the left side and the chat log was on the right side. That was a nice little touch.
Yeah, that was a nice little editing kind of trick. That was a nice little idea.
Good way to save that animation budget.
Yeah, because they weren't really moving or otherwise. You could tell it definitely felt like a still image at times.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Very nice look.
Sorry, go ahead.
That was a very nice looking still image, but still image.
Yeah, but that's one of those things where it's like you're going to be mostly distracted by the text messaging moving on screen, so I think I can forgive it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't know why, but I kind of got a chuckle at this. But I mostly chuckled towards the end when you just see Ren having the toothbrush in his mouth. I don't know, that got a little laugh at me. I gotta just say, even though I like this episode, and even though it's a big improvement over the last week's episode, after I was watching the first time, I kind of forgot most of it. I was like, what happened in this episode again? Oh, right, that happened.
Yeah. There's a lot of information in this episode, so I can see why that would happen.
Yeah, it's a bit of a plot dump, but it's, in my opinion, a reasonable plot dump, at least.
Oh my god, my internet's chopping up badly.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Like, I've been basically robots for the last 10 minutes or so.
Oh shoot.
I knew that. I have a feeling this was a bad idea.
Yeah, well, there's not much I can do. We just gotta keep going with it.
Oh, the audience could hear us fine.
No, they're gonna hear you chopped up as well.
Damn.
The only way I'd be able to fix that is if I had all of y'all record y'all audio separately, and then I have to edit that, and that's gonna be a pain.
And yeah, that's a pain.
Oh, man. We should have had a back recording.
Yeah, maybe, but we're just gonna have to keep it going from here.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Anyways.
Yeah, because there's like so much what's up in this. Like, wait, what happened? It's like, wait, what happened again in this episode? Oh, right, that happened. It's like that particular thing happened, and I literally have nothing else to add other than like the nice little touch of Ren talking to Alibaba while he's in Ty's office. That was a nice little touch, I guess.
That would tie a lot in this series.
Yeah, well, I guess, again, Ty is the kind of confidant that takes time. I mean, remember the different experiments that she has Ren go through.
By the way, Ren, about time you got back to raking up Ty.
Does that mean he improved? He put his guts are now high enough?
Oh my god.
So we can hang out with EY then. Cool.
Oh, no wonder why we haven't seen EY for like several episodes now.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Yeah, it kind of does when you think about it. Even if you got the guts you needed, it would take forever. But anyways, to give my thoughts on the episode, because we are super over time on the first part. Like, we're almost 30 minutes in.
Oh.
Okay.
Basically, to give my thoughts on the episode, yeah, the episode plays it very straight in terms of what it's going for, but I think it's really well done with how straight they play it, along with many of the different additions. Like, they very much make it clear that MedJet is a threat. Like, they very much make it clear that MedJet, if they're not stopped, not only will they cause mass panic for Japan, but this will also cause the Phantom Thieves to be seen as basically the reasons for why MedJet are doing what they're doing. They literally say in the episode, if MedJet does what they do, the Phantom Thieves will be blamed for it. And literally, like, even then, it's like, because it's like, oh, they should just turn themselves in so MedJet will stop all this madness.
Yep.
And that's what I mean. It's like, it gives us a better point as to the threat of MedJet compared to the game. Which, yeah, now that brings us to the comparisons and differences, and that's the first thing that I think is the most important. The threat of MedJet is far more accentuated in the animation than it is in the game. In the game, it's like one day MedJet's like, oh, we are declaring war against the Phantom Thieves. The next day, we have declared victory against the Phantom Thieves. Like, you have done fucking nothing. Whereas in the animation, it's like, we want the Phantom Thieves to turn themselves in to join our cause. And when nothing is said, they shut down Shibuya. And then literally warn the public that if the Phantom Thieves don't turn themselves in, it will get worse.
Yeah, that's the thing that we never really saw in the game, because the game never proved like how threatening this, well, threat is. All that we've gotten is that, oh, they're just a popular or a well-known hacker group that just so happens to know about the Phantom Thieves. We never really saw them do a damn thing that's related to hacking. The only hacking we ever got was Alibaba, and that was it. But in the anime, because they can do this, we actually do see them do some hacking. And Alibaba, too, with the whole hacking the phones thing so they all ring. That was actually really cool to see, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like they give us an actual threat of MedJet, and along with that, they literally show us how skilled Ali. Here's the thing: one of the literal things that happens in the game. I think this happens a little later, but basically, in order for them they're like, oh, how do we know that you'll be able to help us? And literally, like, Alibaba then hacks the freaking Phantoms Aficionado website.
Yep, that happens in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen in the animation as well, because I believe that happened later. But still, the way that Alibaba shows off that, yeah, she's fucking capable of doing some crazy shit.
Well, actually, she already hacked the fan site in the anime.
Yeah, she did. That's true. But in the game, she shut it down, but then brought it back up. Whereas,
and basically said, there's your proof.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas in the animation, she hacked the site, she hacked everyone's phones except Ren, and then later literally messaged him, literally saying, like, I know you're the leader of the Phantom Thieves. Literally even going step by step by the process, the unanimous decision and otherwise.
Yeah, like, the setting everyone's phone thing off is sort of becoming a bit of a hacker cliche, but I can see why it was used here.
Yeah, because everyone else's phone goes off except yours? That's strange.
Yeah, that's like setting a message, and I think it's a very appropriate message given, to establish hacker ability.
Exactly, and that's one thing I really like. They really made, like, some interesting changes with Alibaba and Medjet, and I think it's for the better because it literally accentuates what they're capable of.
I have a lot to say regarding my feelings regarding the whole Medjet thing, but a lot of it actually has to do with stuff that's later down the road, so I can't really talk about it here.
Yeah, now, we could get back onto the topic when it comes in terms of Sojiro. I guess to just paraphrase it real quick for everyone out there, Game Sojiro, you at least had a chance to develop a relationship with, to the point that you couldn't really believe that he would be the kind of guy that would abuse a child. But Anime Sojiro, there's not enough proof. Like, there's not enough interaction with him, and the little interaction that we do get, he comes off as dismissive or detached. So...
Look at you, episode 8.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when, the group literally asks Ren if Sojiro came off as the kind of guy that would be capable. Ren's saying that he doesn't really come off as the kind of guy, and everybody else saying, agreeing with him. While that scene was kind of cool, I looked at it with a sideways head tilt, like, okay, but there's not enough proof or information within the show itself that kind of goes along with that argument. It's like, Sojiro's not a bad guy. That's at least shown in the game. And in the animation, again, it's not really like him being a bad person. It's just, he's super detached. That's the worst part. The only other indication that we get that Sojiro might not be such a bad person is the line from the clip show where he literally gets called talking about what, it's not cute enough or and stuff and shit like that. That's it.
Yeah, and honestly, that comes so far out of left field that it could mean anything, really.
Exactly.
Yep.
You okay, Dean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not drunk again, are you?
No.
I will say this though. Another thing. I will say this though. I think that's two of the major differences in this episode, because besides the way... Go ahead.
Well, there's one difference. I don't think this was in the game, but how about when everyone's cell phone went off, huh?
I just talked about that. I just talked about that, Zachary, right at the beginning. I said that the way Medjet, the way it shows how, how actually powerful and otherwise Alibaba and Medjet are, is shown within this anime, unlike the game.
There is one other change, though, and that was actually that the deadline was moved up by 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was July 31st, wasn't it?
Yep. In the anime it's July 31st. In the game it's August 21st, which is I'm okay with, because that's kind of sort of go to avoid a really bad joke that comes when it comes when you beat the palace in the game too early.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about.
Wait, which, I'm trying to remember, like, what really bad joke that is.
You know,
Father of the Year!
Father of the Year,
Dude.
everyone.
Dean, you remember if, if you beat the palace almost like within the same day you go win it? That.
I see.
I think they did that to avoid that joke, and a lot of the time I notice in the animation, they're usually cutting it close. Like, they usually get it done within like a few days, with like a couple of days to spare, so this date kind of works. But then again, it makes us wonder.
I don't remember it being like a few days close of like Monorame.
Well, then again, we don't know when exactly they started that palace and otherwise. Remember, the
Yeah,
Arctic...
they didn't really give us any kind of time frame for Kaneshiro or Madarame. It was Kaneshiro where we actually got a specific time frame.
We know for a fact they're in July, actually closer to mid-July, because finals.
Right, they had their final exams and they had the fireworks festival. So if I had to guess, they would be around, let me see, 2016 calendar, July. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and guess they're probably around maybe, like, they probably have maybe like a week, 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, that makes sense, because again, they had finals, testing, and otherwise. At this point, they should be close to being on summer vacation.
Yeah, because I think the fireworks festival is on the 19th.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but even if they were to move it back, it still means that the group is doing all this in mid-July.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a change in date, because I think that works a lot more, because again, summer vacation, August. It means that the animation could even spend an episode or two with the summer vacation idea.
Well, of course. I mean, it's an anime, so we gotta have that beach episode.
Okay, we got the beach part and then we got. What happens later on as well. So
This trip.
yes, we have 2 opportunities for that. They'll probably all be in one episode.
By the way, Cole, you're right. The Pirates Festival was on the 18th.
Sweet.
So yeah, even if they were to push it back, it's still mid-July, so they got like 2 weeks to get this done. And here's the thing, they're not even in the palace yet. Think about that. They don't have the code words or anything at this point.
Yeah, that's probably all going to be spent within the next episode, given how the title is and what they have to do to actually get the keywords and all.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah.
What else is there? Like,
oh god, this palace arc might actually be done in 2 episodes.
I don't know.
It might actually be done. I'm actually a little bit worried because I just realized something. This is episode 15. We're still in July.
Ooh.
We have 9 episodes left unless they don't decide to give us a sneak OVA.
Yeah, and we've got, like, plenty of plot to go over.
Yeah.
And that's not including the confidants.
Yeah, there's still there's still a lot left over, so I feel like things might get rushed. Which is why I'm saying I feel like they left the summer thing alone, because they're probably going to do a Persona 4 animation.
Oh, no.
Persona 4 animation?
Yeah, basically cram a bunch of stories into one.
I do remember seeing a news article, and take this for a grain of salt because I kind of sort of found it on Reddit, that apparently the confidants that are going to be covered are going to be the ones that are either personally liked or story relevant. So we might not actually see every confidant, which I wouldn't be surprised by, because technically at this point I think we only have 4.
Yeah,
like even the Persona 4 anime covered more than this by episode 13.
Yeah, it did, quite honestly. Oh god, you want to know what that makes me realize?
What?
Watch them save this shit for the same thing as P4 Golden.
Oh, shit.
Yep, we're
I
gonna.
still haven't seen, but I heard it was bad.
Yeah, the P4 Golden animation is fucking bad. It's like,
This just shows that the Persona 5 animation needed more episodes.
it needed at least 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They can't Persona 4 this because this is like a really, really long game.
Yeah.
This also makes me even more mad regarding the fact that half of episode 14 was a goddamn clip show.
Exactly.
It can't afford that kind. It doesn't. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it doesn't have the time.
Yeah,
Even though the game is about taking your time.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the time to do that shit. But anyways, are there any more comparisons and otherwise we want to bring up?
There wasn't a whole lot in this episode.
No, there isn't. And I guess that's kind of the thing. It's like, well, I guess some of the smaller differences, but then again, those are just nitpicks and otherwise. Again, like, you know, like how the group was around, like, you know, again, how they kind of did that conversation with Alibaba in karaoke, I think, and otherwise.
Yeah, or their first intro to Medjed was while they were all talking on break at school.
Or,
I still miss Yusuke's Medjed ramble.
I miss his discussion about kimonos with the other two girls.
Or the fact of that the group didn't have to search around Yongen Jaya if they knew anyone by the name of Futaba Sakura.
I did like the part where when in Ryuji's subtitle is saying it's nothing like that, he sounds like he's saying naked.
What?
What?
I do. Oh, okay, there is one thing I do like though. Because this is a difference. They do talk about how their chat logs could have been, like, you know, hacked into and otherwise. In the game, however, it's highly subdued, but in the animation, they make it out to be a very fucking big deal, literally saying that they need to be more careful in the future.
Oh crap!
They never are.
Oh crap! I need to delete some stuff.
I know, and then you just have Makoto and just looking at him.
That sounds pretty pervy.
Don't worry, Ryuji. I'm sure that your porn is not to Futaba's preference.
Well, well, then again, as she said in the game many times over, as a member of the opposite sex,
What?
Remember how Futaba in the game literally says, as a member of the opposite sex, like, basically shooting at Ryuji's idea of, oh, he's an appealing guy?
Oh.
Anime, have that line in there, please!
Oh, not just that, but because they have to do Futaba's confidant, bring in the Mishima scene.
Yes,
Totally
please!
call him an NPC. Do it. Absolutely do it.
Please!
Hey, you could totally combine that confidence with Mishima's confidence as well.
That would work, honestly.
Oh wow, yeah.
That could work.
Yeah.
That could work, honestly, because we are getting glimpses of the idea of Mishima's confidant.
Mhm. And yeah, I can actually see that working.
Anyways, I think we can move away from the comparisons and differences at this point and move on to the final part, which is this a good episode for fans and is this a good episode for casual watchers? So, Dean, kick us off.
All right. For fans, I think they'll generally enjoy this one, especially considering that of some of the things that they did come into play for this episode, especially like the demonstration of the hacking, as well as immensely condensing what was essentially a long week's worth of time to actually establish the next arc. Like, and there were some little touches here and there that did make the episode a little bit better.
But this was good kind of condensing.
Yeah, this is the good kind of condensing. The one that actually makes sense, it didn't drag, and was actually very darn entertaining. As for casual folks or folks that are only watching the anime, I think that they'll also generally enjoy it because they'll be pretty interested to see on where this goes next, because the last arc that we had was with a mafia boss, and now they're dealing with a hacker group, and we actually did get to see their demonstration of all the hacking thing, which, yeah, that's a far cry from what anyone who played the game experienced. So I would think they would be genuinely interested to see on where this goes, especially since we got some pretty good demonstrations from both Alibaba and Medjed from this. And probably they would be curious to see on what happens in that ending and what happens afterward.
Oh god, I just realized something.
What?
I'm totally not looking. I just realized something. I'm totally not looking forward to that tentacle scene.
Oh, I know what
Mhm.
you're referring to.
Yeah.
As
If you're referring to what I think you're referring to, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
it's not that bad, honestly.
Yeah,
so...
like, just gonna say this right here. Take it from the token woman in this group. It's really not that bad.
Token
It's really-
woman.
Well, Cole, remember, this is A1 we're talking about, and we know they did Ivana Mako already.
Yeah, but that's just showing off their butts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, some of the service in this anime has been kind of stupid, but it's been mild. Ridiculously mild compared to what I see in some anime.
Yeah.
Anime can get much worse.
Dude, there's some animes that borderline hentai, and I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah, I could promise that too. But, like, am I supposed to also include, like, the soap moment from Persona 4, the animation, as erotic too? So, I don't know. Considering what we've seen from the Persona 5 anime so far, I don't think they're going to set the bar any lower. So
Yeah, it's been relatively tame. But
so yeah.
anyways, Cole.
Oh, wow. I think Dean's basically covered my opinions, too. I think casual watchers are going to like this episode, and I think Persona 4 fans are going to like it, too.
4?
Persona 5.
I approve of this, being a fan of Persona 4.
Have you guys ever noticed throughout this podcast, throughout like all these podcast episodes, it's always Cole that mistakes Persona 5, Persona 4.
Or we
Shut up, Persona 4 is the best.
Yeah.
I still prefer Persona 3.
Boo.
Oh, Nelson, you mean the worst?
No, it's
no,
not
the worst.
It's hardly the one is the worst.
Yeah,
One is the
Persona
worst.
1 is the worst.
Yeah.
I played Persona 1, so I can say this.
Well, at least there's one good thing that we can all agree on.
Yay.
At least it's not as bad as Trinity Soul.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
actually, yeah.
That anime is fucking horrible, and I wouldn't be surprised we end up talking about it at some point.
Oh
We
God.
We have
Yeah,
to.
I can just imagine, like, just during a break from the podcast, between, like, between going from, like, in the podcast and being like, hello everyone, we're going to just rant about how much we hate Trinity Soul. I still haven't seen Trinity Soul, though.
Oh my god.
I know we're gonna do it just for the sake of completion.
Yeah, exactly, we are, and God, is it going to be horrible, because Trinity Soul is technically after the events of 3.
Is Trinity Soul worse than the Golden animation?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Trinity
That's
Soul
impressive.
is terrible.
So sorry, does that mean we would have to review the Persona 3 movies first?
Yeah, Trinity Soul will probably be like the last thing we do.
Oh wow, we'll definitely end on a big
Yeah, we'll end like all the Persona podcast shit on a bang, and just that's basically talking about how terrible Trinity Soul is.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Persona 5 fans, I think they're going to like this as well. I think some people are going to like how they heighten Medja's threat, whereas I think some of them are probably going to be a little bit annoyed by it, because I think what a lot of the point for the game was how easy it is for you to manipulate the mass media without, well, doing anything. But I think some people are going to appreciate that they actually made this guy actually kind of, do something.
A lot more,
Threatening.
a lot more dangerous, basically, compared to how it
Yeah,
was in the
more or
game.
less. Even if all he knows how to do is do a mass blackout.
Hey guys, we defeated the Phantom Thieves.
So,
Somehow.
dude, Aiden Pierce could do something like that on his phone. Like, I can pop in Watch Dogs right now and do that shit.
Mm-hmm. Really, all I just did was talk about traffic lights.
Well, the reason that I say what I do regarding Medjed manipulating the media without doing anything, if you walk around the area in the game, you can hear people talking about and freaking out a little bit about how there have been a lot of hackings in the area. It's just as easily as saying, "Oh, hey, they're because I did it," and bada boom.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and
But you can't really do that in the anime, especially with one that's as condensed as this one. So I am glad that they decided to take their own spin on it and actually, instead of having them say they're a threat, actually show they're a threat instead, even if they actually aren't.
Yeah, and it's a matter of like show don't tell, and especially
Mhm.
an anime can easily like show what you can do, while in a game it might be a tad difficult to show stuff like that actually
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can show through the environment, like how Persona 5 has the ambient conversations that you can actually stop and read and listen to, but you can't really do that in an animation. Unless you, actually have a budget.
Yeah,
Which
basically.
A1 clearly doesn't.
Dude, these are the same guys who animated Sword Art Online, so
So,
Yeah.
These are
so
also-
here's the expectations, right around there.
yeah,
And
they always blow
and
their
these are-
budget. They always blow their fucking budget at the beginning.
These are also the same people that animated the Ace Attorney anime. I rest my case.
Dude,
Literally.
I already rested my case at Sword Art Online. That shit is terrible.
Yeah,
Don't
there's,
tell me.
Well, what you're telling me, Nelson, you'll actually get fans of it coming after you.
I don't fucking care, but I'm not gonna say it here. I'll save that for my own little video. But yeah,
You
I'm
technically
just gonna
did.
tweet it now. On tonight's episode of the Wolf Podcast, we ramble about our love for Futaba, and Nelson pisses off the SAO community.
yeah. Well, it wouldn't be the first time. That's one, and two. I'm not a nice guy.
Remember,
Oh, that's
and
a
that's,
lie, and you know it.
and also remember that time you pissed off Final Fantasy VII fans?
Oh, that's a story you gotta tell me.
Oh, after all this, I will. Anyways, Zachary, your thoughts?
Basically the same as Cole and Dean for fans of Persona 5. You'll like it, especially if you're a fan of Futaba. Though prepare to be annoyed if you love Sojiro as much as we did.
Also, be prepared to pause if you're a slow reader.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as for casual fans, yeah, they'll probably get a kick out of this. Well, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say. So that's not to you.
Fans are definitely gonna love this episode, primarily because of the new additions that are added from the animation. The facial the way that different facial how the characters react and otherwise. Again, Makoto at the very end of the episode, she looks so fucking petrified. While the game did a pretty good job using the in-game engine to show faces and such, I feel like the animation does it in such an incredible... literally, as they're literally walking back, Ren runs into Makoto, who's just, stuck there, basically. She's that petrified that she can't even move. And...
man.
Oh, man, I felt so bad for her. In that situation, oh, man, it makes me... It's gonna make me laugh when I see the follow-up scene. Oh, my...
I want the next episode to just open with them screaming.
No, yeah, exactly.
Don't
yeah,
forget.
yeah. Then
And we also need Sojiro's best line during that scene.
yeah, then it
Are
just
you
goes.
two dating?
And then,
yeah.
And then it just cuts. It just cuts to the intro.
No, I want Makoto to say, I'm sorry, please help me, sis, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said, just cut to the intro right there. That would be funny.
Oh, wait, no, I can't use that because they replaced the goddamn intro.
Thanks, Obama.
I still hate the new intro.
Oh my god! But as for yeah, fans are gonna love this episode. Thanks to all the new additions and otherwise. Casual watchers, I think they're gonna get a nice little kick out of this as well, especially considering the idea of the hacker group MedJet and how the Phantom Thieves are going to be handling this, along with this whole idea of the hacker character Alibaba. There's a lot of mystery surrounding a lot of these events, and there's a lot of mystery involved. That's kind of what I think casual watchers are going to be more intrigued by in this episode. The mysteries surrounding all of this. Is Sojiro actually an abusive parent? How dangerous really is MedJet? Is Alibaba really capable of dismantling an entire international hacker organization? Like, there's a lot of mystery involved for the casual watchers, and I think that's what's going to allure them to watch the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that leaves us off, and oh boy, now we have to get ourselves ready for the next episode, and please leave some of the funny lines from the game in there.
Yeah, some of my favorite lines did come from this one arc, so I'm really hoping that they actually do maintain a lot of it. We already got a decent amount out of it, but we need more.
Actually, it's not the funny lines I'm concerned about. I want them to actually keep the really dramatic moments.
Yes, and the important stuff too. I do want that for, like, here's the thing: if they're going to if they're going to plan on doing the palace in one shot in this one episode, they need to make sure that they keep the most important parts inside of it. Otherwise, it's going to lose a lot of its value.
Mm-hmm.
As Cole said in the previous episode, don't fuck up Futaba.
I still can't believe we had a clip show. Ugh.
I know, right? So, here's hoping the next episode does does its job and does what it needs to make this all work. But with that said, what do you think about our thoughts on the episode? Have a different opinion than us? Found a comparison that we didn't talk about? Go ahead and leave your comments down below and we'll discuss it in the comment section. So until next time, guys, I'm Keenan47, aka Wolfkeen, along with...
I am D. McCamey, System Phone 3000.
I am FlOrangey, and I'm watching you, anime. Do not fuck this up.
And I am Mario Fanboy 15 and still fuck the new intro.
Yeah, that new intro will never, like... It would be the same... It would be the same as me changing the title card into something worse.
Yeah, you know the crazy part is, they changed the intro, but yet they didn't change the ending song.
No.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
weird. You don't see that in animes that
Yeah,
often.
that's just very disjointed, if you ask me.
What do you want to bet that they're going to change it when they finish the Futaba arc?
If I was to make a bet, I wouldn't make it to BronyCon.
Oh.
That's the truth of the matter. I know I would lose immediately.
Mm.
Oh man, but anyways, till next time, guys. Take care.